Hi guys, sorry for yet another nighttime video about the Forge, but this is when I'm doing it, so I guess this is when I'm doing it. But earlier today, well actually last night, I modified the Forge. Yesterday during the day, I took it to school and fitted a new pipe on. It's 6 feet long rather than the 4 feet that I had before, and so I've got 1.5 feet sticking out of each end, and now I've got 2 fans mounted on it rather than just one. And I've got both of the fans plugged in right now, but I don't have the important parts plugged in. They're both plugged into an extension cord on this end, and this is an extension cord from the house, and when I plug them in, they'll blast away. But I've got a bucket of pine cones back here that I'm going to toss in, and another modification that I made just today is I've been collecting the ashes that I've been generating from the Forge, and I basically poured it into a bucket and mixed it up with some water till it formed a muddy consistency, and I lined the bottom of the Forge with it, making sure not to cover up the holes. And for the past hour or so I've been firing the Forge with just pine needles, because that's what I have around. I've run out of charcoal, I gotta buy some more. But I've been blasting it with pine needles, and that's been more or less curing the muddy ash stuff, and it's solidified quite nicely by now. But why not make some more fire if you can? And another thing that I'll mention whenever I've got the fire going and you can actually see is that I recently acquired from a friend at school a fan. It's a very powerful fan. It's sitting right next to the computer at the moment, actually. It's an HVAC blower fan, and it puts out, I mean, the fans that I've got on my Forge right now, they put out roughly 50 CFM each, which is cubic feet per minute. So I've got a total of 100 cubic feet per minute of air going through my Forge, roughly. There's some leakage, but not a whole lot. This blower fan puts out several hundred. It's ridiculous. I mean, it is a windstorm when I turn this thing on. But I'm going to turn on the Forge itself right now. And then I'll put some more... Oh, hey, I heard it. I'll put the pine cones in, and then with the light from that Forge, I will show you the HVAC blower fan. Oh, I'll show you the Forge right now, though. There you go. You can see the narrow line right in the middle, where there's a good deal of heat from where the holes are. That's sunk in about 1.5 inches. That's about how thick the ash layer is. So now, let's get it going. I'll put on my gloves, because gloves are always good when you're dealing with fire this hot. There we go. As you can see, plenty of fire. It's getting ash all over my keyboard. But, take the gloves off, and there you can see it firing away. And there's the blower fan. You can see it there. Here's the side of it. The wiring's a bit strange, but I figured out how to actually make it work. I hooked it up to an extra power cord that I actually took off of my the hair dryer that I originally tried to power my Forge with, but burned out, and so that didn't work. But the cord is going to a good cause. And you can see a lot of it's burning away quite nicely. Let me make this piece of metal and shift it around. Woo. Yeah, that's why I wear gloves during this. Now that I actually think about it. There you go. Oh, sounds like someone has messaged me on Facebook. And again, I'm gonna mute it real quick. But if you look, you might be able to see Well, I don't know if you can actually see it, but there's an intense, much hotter section right along the center where the air trough is blowing up. But here's one fan on one side, here's the original fan on the other side. It's got extension cords and all sorts of stuff running from it. But, yep, I've modified the forge, so now it should be hotter and a bit more efficient, with less heat going down into the forge itself and getting reflected back up to whatever I'm trying to burn. And I've got an HVAC blower fan, which in the future should be able to power a lot of different stuff at once. I mean, I've turned it on a couple of times pointing at the forge and it just blows stuff out, which is a little dangerous, so I'm not going to do that anymore.